This One News update is brought to you by ANZ, proud sponsor of the New Zealand Olympic team.
The government's looking at tax breaks and exemptions for some property owners struggling to bring their buildings up to the earthquake safety standard. Some small towns warn their future's at risk because of the huge cost of strengthening historic buildings. Our political editor Corin Dan reports.
Fielding's historic town centre is a huge source of civic pride, but with around 70% of it needing earthquake strengthening, its future is becoming uncertain.
Currently our council's policy says 10 years to complete the work or demolish, and for some of these buildings the building owners will just simply walk away and it's just financially not viable.
The government accepts towns like Fielding have a big task ahead, and it's looking at ways to help.
I think the issue of tax write-offs for the work done in earthquake proofing will certainly come on to the agenda.
One of the big problems for towns like Fielding is that a lot of the strengthening work requires specialist engineers and those with skills in brick masonry. But with the Christchurch rebuild now getting underway, a lot of those kinds of specialists will be thin on the ground. For that reason, the government isn't likely to be heavy-handed with building owners and may even offer exemptions.
So whether you go to a public information regime which says to people, this building does not meet, and if you enter it, you will be at the following risk level compared to others.
Fielding's mayor says a more balanced approach is welcome.
Banks and moving people out of their buildings, churches, and I think that we need to exercise some caution here.
It's a stance earthquake engineers are also comfortable with.
The work needs to start now. That's basically the message, but it doesn't mean to say that all the work has to be done immediately. It can be spread over time to manage the risk process.
The Royal Commission of Inquiry into the Canterbury earthquakes is due to give its view on earthquake building standards later this year. Corin Dan, One News.
This One News update is brought to you by ANZ, proud sponsor of the New Zealand Olympic team.